Miss Marvel, it keeps making you wonder what the hell was going through their mind when they made this series. Now, again, as I stated, I watched 2 episodes and this never went back. Could not be bothered at all. I think if you're going to do something, do it correctly. If you can't do that, then you're just wasting everyone's time. So, Miss Marvel as a character is somebody that has, basically a character that has never been all that popular, all that important to anybody at all. They've rebooted her book or a number of times, not as much as they've rebooted Captain Marvel, which is a character people seem to just genuinely dislike. But they have rebooted her book a few times. Her powers in the comics are ridiculous, always having these giant fists all over the place, going around all of that all of these giant fists and all kind of stuff. In the series, they decided to go a different route and give her these kind of energy projection powers that are similar to Green Lantern. I don't think it works. I still think the costume is just horrendous. But the show has finally ended. 6 episodes, wasted time. I did not stick around for 4. Like I said, I watched 2. I wanted to quit on the first episode, but I said no. Let me give it at least a second episode and see. And I never went back. I don't want to know what happened. I'm not interested. But there is a new development. It's a big spoiler, so I have to bring you all this information. Miss Marvel's finale episode drops a major revelation about Kamala Khan's origins, setting up the MCU arrival of a major superhero faction. Miss Marvel finale includes a huge revelation that suggests a major superhero faction is about to join the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Woo, let's find out. The 6th and final episode of the Disney Plus series sees protagonist Kamala Khan having a brief conversation with her best friend and science buff Bruno Carelli. In a tense moment, Bruno reveals that there's something different about Kamala's genes, going on to describe his observation as a mutation. God, here we go. At the same moment, a brief musical stinger that song similar to the theme song of X-Men the animated series can be heard. The scene suggests that Miss Marvel is the first known mutant in the MCU and may foreshadow the arrival of the X-Men. Oh, for Christ's sakes, boy. Lord have mercy. Many fans suspected that Kamala would be revealed to be a part of a major Marvel faction, albeit one very different from the X-Men. In Miss Marvel's second episode, Bruno notes that the titular hero's superpowered bangle is unlocking abilities that already existed with her, or should I say, it should probably be within her, leading some to believe the show would herald the arrival of the Inhumans, given that Kamala gains her beginning powers through exposure to Terrigen Mist in the comics. And by in beginning, basically I talk about the giant fists. Yeah, that's really what she does a lot of. While Miss Marvel's revelation has many fans excited about the arrival of the mutants in the MCU, it's worth noting that a member of the X-Men has already appeared in the sprawling franchise, albeit in a different reality. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness featured a cameo of Professor X, played by Patrick Stewart, who reprised the role of Fox's X-Men franchise. The character appearance was similarly marked by a musical moment that referenced the X-Men until he got his neck snapped in his head by Wanda, who nobody could stop in that movie. While many fans were delighted to see Stewart back as a powerful telepath, others felt that his appearance lacked an impact. I was one of them, since it was restricted to an alternate universe. So that wasn't the only reason. and therefore didn't have a direct impact on the MCU's Earth. Fans wanting to see Kamala Khan in action again won't need to wait for too long. The character is set to appear in the Marvels, an upcoming MCU blockbuster that will see her team up with Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel, and Monica Rambeau. The film is slated to hit theaters on 20th July 2023. Now, apparently, from what I get to understand, Carol Danvers as Ms. Marvel, well, Brie Larson, shows up at the end of Ms. Marvel. The last episode, I think it's after credits or something, so she shows up. This is something that was never, really pushed online. There was no big hype about it, anything, because apparently, I don't know, they figured that Brie Larson was such a big actress as Captain Marvel that people were going to flock to see it. No, the ratings have dropped for Ms. Marvel steadily. As for Monica Rambeau, what they have done to her in the MCU is just pretty much criminal. That's the only word for it. That's criminal. Now, let me get back to this whole nonsense here. Miss Marvel as a character is someone I have stated nobody seems to like. I'm not a fan of her. The first time I even heard about this character was probably about 3-4 years after she was created. That's to tell you how unimportant she really was to me or anybody else around. I heard about it. Her powers are laughable. Her existence is a self-insert. And the stories around her are not interesting. This is a common trend with Marvel. They keep relaunching and trying to push it like, she's somehow important, even though nobody seems to care. But they keep doing it. When it came to the TV series, I did a video on how I copped out after 2 episodes. I did another one trying to explain why these people didn't like her, and I pointed out many of the reasons why and what exactly they were trying to defend and say was so this or the other, but it wasn't. That's what I did. And then again, they came out and said it was the best show ever, which it wasn't. Now you turn around and giving out script that she could very well be a mutant. How does that make any kind of sense? I don't know. In the comics, she got exposed to the Terrigen Mist. It turns out she was an Inhuman. Nobody really cared in the comics. Nobody really cares in the MCU. They were even talking about something where she might be some kind of djinn or something like that. And now you turn around and say, well, she's a mutant. If you want to bring the X-Men into this absolute crap fest that is the MCU, that just keeps getting worse with each day, this is not the way to do it. At all. This is a direct slap in the face of the X-Men. And you acting like people are supposed to somehow care is not really anything to be proud of. Miss Marvel is not a character people like. It's not a character people enjoy. The way you've changed her powers to try to make it seem like it's better, it isn't. It's still stupid. Still very stupid. The whole energy constructs thing kind of looks like Green Lantern, and we all remember that Green Lantern movie and how awful it was. That's how bad it is here. The stories make no sense. The characters are boring as hell, and you just keep pushing it. Why? Because as far as you're concerned, this could work. So now we get confirmation that Miss Marvel is apparently a mutant in the MCU. How does that make any sense? I don't freaking know. Why does that supposed to make any sense? I don't know. Why do they think people are going to be happy about it? Well, I don't know that either. What I do know is this is what Marvel does. They say to themselves, listen, we're going to put that out there and you have to be happy with it. Screw you. That's it. So, Miss Marvel is apparently a mutant. For some reason, I don't know. We may touch on it more in the Marvels, which comes out next year. Another movie, whatever, that nobody wants to see at all. But this is the MCU. This is what we're being given. Why? Because, like I said, nobody cares. Let me know in the comments what you think about this startling revelation that Ms. Marvel is now a mutant. If you like the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, ring the notification bell to be notified every time I put out a new video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.